Hello everybody, it's Bendominator, and I've been getting a ton of questions when I stream Brim Royale, and a question that gets brought up a ton is, how did we make our custom loot pool? Now let me show you exactly how this works real fast, and then I'm going to show you step by step on how you can do it, and even a few more tips and tricks that you can do that we didn't even do in Brim Royale that could even make it a bit better. But to start, let me just show you how this works. So, we have two different types of chests here. We got our main chest, and then we have our supply chests. You can open your main chest, you get a weapon, a completely random gun. Open the supply chest, you can get a completely random kind of item. And all our chests work like this. You just walk up to them. You cannot open them again once you've opened them. So once somebody's opened them, you cannot open them again. And we have made a fully custom loot pool that is completely random, and Rarity even works. So you're going to be finding gray weapons more common than you find gold and purple and so on. So let me go ahead and show you exactly how we did this. Alright, so before we get started real fast, if you guys enjoy the content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, but just know that I don't normally make creative tutorials like this, but I just thought I would make this video because a ton of people have been asking me about it. But if you're watching this and you're subscribing thinking that I'm going to make more creative tutorials, just know that I most likely will not make many more creative tutorials after this one. This is just something that I really wanted to give a tutorial on because I think it's very important and I want to see more people implement this into their maps. So, the main things that you're going to need is you're going to need a button, an item granter, and I'm resizing these simply so that they're easier for me to find. Got an item granter, a button, and then any prop of your choosing to represent a chest. Multiple props kind of that look like this work. You also got props like this. Resize, make them a little bigger so they stand out. But any prop that kind of looks like something that can be opened that stands out a lot is going to work perfectly for a custom loot pool. So we're going to take this, we're going to resize it a little bit. We're going to use this as our custom chest. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the settings. So the first thing here is the button, and you're just going to want to go to all the settings, all options, and you can change the interact time. I'd recommend like 1 second maybe, either instant or 1 second for the interaction time for the button. And then any team activating, make it so that you can only trigger it once. No delay, no reset delay, no sound, unless you do want a sound. Enable at game start. Interaction text, you can make it to interact. You can also do open chest, which is something that I like to do. Apologies for my terrible typing. Open chest is usually what is a pretty good option, but you can just make that anything you want. That's just what's going to show up when you try to search it. That's like the option for it. Visible during game, you do not want the button to be visible during the game. And the interaction radius, you're going to want to make it a bit larger. I'd probably say 0.75. That's probably a pretty good one because you're going to want to put the button right where this chest is. And that's going to kind of be the interaction radius for where you're going to be able to open the chest. So yeah, as long as that blue circle is where you're going to need to be standing to open the chest, that should be pretty good. Honestly, for this chest, you could even probably make it a bit bigger, but I think that's pretty much a good radius for it to be right there. And then that's going to be about all the settings for the button, other than you need to make sure that when interacted with, you want it to transmit on a certain channel. Now, this can be any channel, but the important thing is that the channel has to match with the item granter. So I'm going to do channel 1. You can use any channel you want to. Just make sure the item granter and the button match. So now we're going to do the item granter, and this is where it gets a bit more complicated. So enable on game start, yes. Receiving player is the triggering player. On grant action, you're going to want to keep all. Yeah, you're going to want to keep all. And then grant current item. Grant condition, always. Grant on cycle, no. Equip granted items, don't equip. Remove item on grant, no. Give extra ammo? Yes, you're going to want to give extra ammo. I mean, if you have ammo boxes, then maybe you don't want to, but I would definitely recommend giving extra ammo. Cycle behavior needs to be wrap. Okay, so this is where it becomes very important. You want to grant item when receiving from the same channel that you made the button output to. So if you made the button output on channel 1 when it's pressed, then make sure this is set to channel 1. And also, you not only want to grant the item, but you also want to cycle to a random item. So that's going to make sure that it cycles to a completely random item every single time. We have this all set up, but we got to add some items into the granter. A good idea for when you're making your loot pool is just to make sure that each item has kind of a rarity system. So say you want to put in ARs, right? Say you want the assault rifle. Think about every single rarity you want. So maybe you want the gray through gold assault rifle. You're going to want to put a different number for each rarity. So just to make sure that grays are more common, you want to make sure you put like 5 grays in here. So for every gray weapon, you want 5 of them. So we'll put 5 gray assault rifles in here. So they're a bit more common. Then when we go to the green assault rifle, you're going to want to put in 4 of them. So that's 1 less than the gray. So it's a tad less common, but it is still pretty common. So you're going to want to put 4 for green ones. And then for blue ones, you're going to want to put 3. So notice how they become a bit more rare to find each time. And I do recommend doing this for every single gun that you put in your loot pool. Yes, it does take a good amount of time, but it will be worth it. And then for purple, we'll put 2. And for gold, you only have 1. And there we go. Now, of course, you're going to want more weapons than just an AR, but just for testing purposes. And then I'm going to put I'm going to just put a lot around here so I can test to make sure that it's actually random. So now we are in the match. And as you can see, we have the option to search chest. And there we go. We got a gray AR. Ooh, we got a purple AR. Another gray one. A green. A gray. So as you can see, we're getting less common. We're getting the less common rarities, or the more common rarities more often, which is important. You can see you got mostly green gray, and this is pretty realistic, I would say. Out of all these chests, we only got 1 blue, 1 purple, 3 grays, and 1 green. And you can go ahead and keep trying this, and it's, without fail, it's pretty much going to give you exactly what you would expect, of course. We didn't even get a single gold, which goes to show how rare it can be. And that is pretty much the most simple form of it. Of course, you're going to want to add more weapons. You're going to want to add even more stuff. You're going to want to add a supply crate, put heals in there. And yeah, let me show you a bit more cool things that you can do as well. Alright, so let's say that when a player opens a chest, you want them to not only get a weapon, but also some heals. So let's go ahead and copy this exact item granter. And we are going to go to this little settings options. We're going to clear all our items. And we are going to go ahead and put some heals in here. Now, for me personally, I don't believe that you really need to apply the same rarity system to heals. I'd say just kind of throw them in there. I would make sure, however, that you put 3 minis in a stack, because that's usually how it is in VR. And also 5 bandages in a stack as well. So let's go ahead and put all these heals. You can put whatever heals you want. Maybe even put some grenades and stuff. Ammo is always good as well. But there we go. Those are all cycled in the item granter. And now when we start game, we should receive from both item granters, allowing us to grab a weapon and a heal. So, as you can see, we open the chest and we not only get a heal, but a weapon as well. We got some minis. The reason we didn't do this in Brim Royale, though, is because it does fill up your inventory quite fast. And instead of doing this, we added separate chests that give you heals instead. So instead of giving 2 items at once, you could add a separate type of chest to give you the heals instead. Alright, so instead of giving heals to these, we are going to want to get heals from these bags. So let's say these bags are going to give you heals, but they won't give you guns. So let's copy this exact same button over here. And then you're going to want to go all the way down here, and you're going to want to change this channel to anything else that's not the same channel that you used before. So for example, we used channel 1 on the previous buttons. We're going to use channel 2 this time. And now with these item granters, we're going to change these to channel 2 as well for both of these options. And let's go ahead and copy a few just to make sure that it's random. And now, as you can see, we have the 2 different types. Open this. Hey, we got bandies. We got some meds. And over here we get weapons. Which, this is exactly the same system we use for Brim Royale. So, you have the weapon chests, and you have the supply chests. And you get all kinds of stuff in here, like grenades, pretty much any different item. And then for the guns, add any type of gun you want. And yeah, I hope this video helped you guys out. Hopefully I was as clear as possible. A big reason I don't do a lot of creative tutorials is because I'm not very good at explaining things. But hopefully I was able to explain this, and hopefully it was pretty easy for you guys to figure out. Hopefully it worked for you guys. And as long as you followed all the exact stuff I did, then it should work for you. And I even gave you a few other kind of examples of what you can do to improve it or do it differently, and yeah. And also, definitely use that rarity system. Again, hopefully I explained it pretty well, but just kind of look at what I was doing. I was adding 5 guns for every gray weapon, 4 guns for every green, 3 guns for every blue, 2 guns for every purple, and 1 gun for every gold. And if you do that for every single gun in your loot pool, then you should have a pretty solid rarity system. You should be receiving some more common weapons more often than the uncommon ones. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe. But if you're expecting me to make a bunch of creative tutorials, then I wouldn't recommend subscribing if that's all you want to see from me. But I do make tons of commentary videos. I make a ton of map trailers for our maps, and I also stream creative a ton. So if you're interested in any of those things, then be sure to subscribe. You can use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the item shop, #ad, if you really want to support me. And again, just thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I hope this helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.